Hi, everybody, and welcome to just a mellow and relaxing set of yoga with me today. I'm Faith from Mountain Mom Massage. This is my cat, Ollie, who's apparently going to be joining us today. My apologies if she gets in the screen. And I'd love for you all to start by just coming to a comfortable seat and having nearby either your yoga mat and or some blocks or a cushion. And you could also use a strap, or this is just a pashmina. I'm going to sit up onto the block to get a little more comfortable. And this gentle class today is safe for pretty much everyone. Please respect your own injuries, but otherwise it'll be safe for you both during pregnancy, after pregnancy, and just in a regular old human body. Roll the shoulders down the back. Close the eyes, let the hands fall onto the thighs if they're not there already. And settle into a few full breaths as you land. And give yourself a moment of time and space to come into your body and your practice. Let the sounds of the house around you be present. Maybe there's children crawling over you or a cat nuzzling you. Maybe there's chaos surrounding you. Let that be. Inhale the arms, take a big breath in. Turn the hands to face out, push away any thoughts you don't need with you right now. Big sigh out the mouth. And again, inhale. Arms up. Exhale, the hands push away. One more time. Inhale. This time, exhale, push away, let the hands fall all the way down to the heart. Close the eyes once more if they have been open. Drop the chin down towards the hands, acknowledging whatever has brought you to this mat and this practice in this moment. Release the hands down, drop the chin to the chest, and gently roll from one side to the other. If you have a lot of neck and shoulder tension, please start this gently and slowly. Side to side. Hearing any cracks or pops as they happen. And then you can make the motion bigger or make the stretch feel deeper, but only as much as feels safe to you. Next time your ear is towards the right shoulder, pause, gently nod the head yes. And then turn the head to say no. Really gentle with that no action because that can be intense. That's a stretch across the front of the neck for those who, especially those who experience more neck tension, or if you have a tendency for your neck to feel tweaky is what we often call it. Come back to neutral, roll the chin down to the chest. Left ear to left shoulder. Again, nod the head, yes. Stretching the front and the back sides of the neck. And then no. So you look down to the shoulder and up towards the sky. Gentle with that up towards the sky. Release by coming to neutral, dropping down, chin to chest. Wiggle side to side. Bring the head up in line, ears with the shoulder as you roll the shoulders up and then down the back. Resetting the posture. From here, roll over and forward onto hands and knees. You can move your block out of your way. If you want to pad extra underneath the knees, you can pad extra underneath the knees. Plant the hands down onto the ground, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. And start with the gentlest of cat-cows. Tailbone drops down between the legs as you start to arch through the back. Pull the shoulder blades apart, duck the chin to the chest and the crown of the head towards the floor. On an inhale, tailbone extends, heart reaches forward, gaze reaches forward. Exhale, tailbone tucks under, around the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, everything opens up. You can also do that with the reverse breath. See what feels better and more instinctive in your body. 2 more times in cat-cow. And slowly walk the hands forward. You're going to keep the legs just as they are, but the arms will walk forward. Press into the thumb and the pointer finger. Keep the forearms off the ground and let the head come in line with your forearms and your elbows. Hips are pushing back. Maybe your forehead rests on the floor. Starting to be a stretch for the armpit and the chest. This starts to get into movements that we don't do every single day, so you might feel them a little bit more in the body. Take a full breath here. Let it reach down the spine. Inhale, come up, walk the hands back so that they're underneath the shoulders again. Plant the left hand to center. Inhale, right arm reaches up. If you're pregnant, you can stay here. If twists feel good in your pregnancy, just keep the baby in the belly straight down towards the floor. Don't do a deep twist through the belly. Maybe you spread your knees a little farther apart. If you're not pregnant, you can slide that hand underneath, right ear to the floor. Walk the left hand forward. Everybody's feeling this stretch in between the shoulder blades along the upper neck. Really important to keep a hand down here if you, again, tend to be a little bit tweaky in the neck. Keep the left hand down to help support so not all of the weight of the body is on the shoulder and the ear. Take one more breath here. Root down, left hand in front of the face. Inhale, right hand reaches back up. And release the right hand down. Right hand goes to center. Inhale, left hand rises. Exhale, dive the left hand underneath. Slide it along the floor. I know you can't quite see the floor in my video, but just know that its hand is there on the floor. Everybody is keeping their belly towards center, but especially true if you've got a baby in the belly. Right hand can stay where it is or walk forward. Plant into it to help create that twist through the upper back. Take another full breath here. Walk the hand back in front of the face. Right hand is planted down. Left hand reaches up. We counter pose by opening the left hand up to the sky, opening the chest. Exhale, left hand down. Walk both hands about one handprint forward. Curl the toes under, press the hips up and back. Your first downward facing dog. So this one is really pretty safe for everybody. If you're 37 weeks and beyond in pregnancy, you might consider keeping your knees down in this pose instead, just because so much of your energy is really wanting to go down into the pelvis at this point. That's where we want babies to drop down. And if it still feels good to you, take it. Root into the hands, thumb and pointer finger. Press the shoulders towards the glutes. So the shoulders are moving away from the ears here. Legs are straight or straight-ish. And a soft bend here will really help if you're feeling like this is too strong for your hamstrings. Try bending one knee and then the other to walk out through the legs. I love this one, especially for people who spend a lot of their day seated. Your feet can unknowingly get pretty stagnant and the low legs pretty stagnant. We often think about the shoulder and neck tension of people who stay seated much of the day or work at a desk, but the lower body can be affected too. Release and take a full breath in downward facing dog. Let it out through the mouth on the exhale. Walk the feet forward to meet the hands, bending the knees as you go towards the top of the mat. Let's keep the knees bent here, hands onto the shins, or if you put your blocks in front of you, that's great. Inhale long through the spine. Exhale, fold down. Knees can stay bent, especially to protect the low back. And making sure that you're just adjusting this pose to your body. Toes could touch, but if you are pregnant, or if it just doesn't feel comfortable to your belly, step the feet wide apart to make room for the belly. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. One more time with that same movement. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And in this next push, root through the feet. Round all the way up and come up to standing. As you come to standing, shoulder blades roll down the back. Good, get that big motion. Inhale, arms stretch up to the sky. Exhale, hands pass through the heart. Fold forward, bending the knees as you need. Plant the hands down to the ground, deep as knee bend as you want. Right foot steps back. Drop the back knee down and walk onto the left thigh. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, deepen. And squeeze the inner thighs here to lift up. This can be a big stretch for the quad. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward. Good. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now this is a handy spot to have blocks. I'm going to grab mine, but if you don't have blocks, you can use the floor, the chair, or you can just do it balancing with your hands in the air. Extend through the left leg, toes pointing up, hands either on either side of the foot or to the inside of the leg, you decide. And pause here. Left leg is forward, it's straight-ish, toes are trying their best to point up towards the sky. And the reason I'm using the blocks here is that to get on the floor, my hamstrings are feeling a little tight today. And so to get my hands on the floor, I have to start to round and to sort of duck my nose towards the ground. So the blocks can help elongate through the spine. I think we all get so much practice rounding forward. We don't really need to encourage our bodies to do that unintentionally in yoga. Pause and breathe. It's just feeling the stretch through the back of the left leg. The release on this side is to slide the left leg, foot to the floor, back to meet the right. Hands can stay on the blocks or come down to the ground. Take a cat-cow. Release through the pelvis. Let's find our way there again. Curl the toes under, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Reach through the hips, bend the knees as needed. Walk the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Spine is parallel to the floor. Exhale, release down. Root through the feet, roll all the way up. If you feel lightheaded today, you could always skip this. Just stay folded over and meet us at the next pose. Arms to the sky. Exhale, this time swan dive forward, heart open, melt towards the floor. Hands come down to the floor or blocks. Right foot stays rooted forward, left foot steps back. Drop the knee down to the ground, pad underneath the knee if you need to. Hands onto the thigh and gently reach pelvis forward. Squeeze the inner thighs to draw yourself back to center. Reach and squeeze. One more, lengthen and strengthen. Take the hands down either onto the floor or onto your blocks. Hands on either side of the foot or to the inside of the foot, you decide. Right leg is forward, hip is reaching back, toes are trying their best to get towards the sky. We didn't do this modification on the other side, but if you're feeling looser on this side, you can start to bend the elbows and let the chest reach all the way down towards the floor. Now notice the difference between this and when we're reaching towards the floor and tucking our chin under, and there's big rounding. We're keeping the spine long, even as we sink into the pose. Always an option to close the eyes. If your house isn't too chaotic. Maybe if it is really chaotic, you can close the eyes and just imagine yourself on a quiet beach somewhere. If you need to keep the eyes open to keep an eye on pets, kids, or work, feel free. 2 more breaths here. The release, sole of the foot comes to the ground. Walk the right leg back to meet the left. Hands come down. This time, instead of cat-cow, shift the hips side to side. We're going to keep our practice simple today. Return to your downward facing dog, hips up, stretch back. Slowly walk the feet forward, widening through the stance as much as you need. Fit the belly, fit the chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Root through the feet, round and roll all the way up to standing. Shoulder blades get big movement again. Arms reach to the sky. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Left foot is staying forward. Right foot steps back and open into warrior two. In warrior two, the left toes are pointing towards the top of the mat. The right toes are turned in just slightly. Inhale, arms reach out and open. Shoulder blades settle onto the back. Energy stretches through the fingers. And let's turn the head side to side. It's been cold recently. And sometimes when it's cold, we start to let our shoulders shrug up more towards our ears. So this is a way to release them. Remember to move the neck. Exhale, right hand reaches for the thigh. Inhale, left hand to the sky. We're going to come forward here. Exhale, left hand or elbow onto your left thigh. Inhale, the right arm up overhead, long line from the right toes to the right fingertips. Root through the elbow, roll the shoulders down the back. Check and lift your toes up off the ground. Make sure you're not gripping the earth. Inhale to come all the way back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the inside of the left leg. Spin the back heel up. Step the left leg back, hips high, downward facing dog. You're going to stay in that downward facing dog. I'm going to change directions just so that we can easily see each other in our next pose. So you are staying right where you were. Slowly walk the feet forward to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet, round and roll up to standing. Arms stretched to the sky, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, hands to the heart. Right foot forward, left foot picks up and reaches back. Arms open out wide. Right toes are now pointing towards the top of the mat. Left toes are turned in just slightly. Energy through the fingertips. Shoulder blades are trying their best to drop down the back. And again, we turn the head from side to side, releasing through the neck. If you want to make some crazy faces, trilling the lips, opening the jaw really wide, or squinching up the face really small, and then stretching it wide. All of that is so great for our jaw muscles and for the tension of our faces. Exhale, left hand to thigh, right hand to sky. Big breath. Exhale, hand or elbow onto the right thigh. Reach open with the left hand, stretching over the ear. Long lines. Pause. Make sure you're not gripping with the toes. Inhale, reach through the left hand to rise up. Exhale to cartwheel the hands down inside of the forward foot. Spin the back heel up. Slide the right foot back to meet the left in downward facing dog. Then one knee and then the other. Lift high up onto your tippy toes, heels towards the sky. Exhale, drop the knees down. Take a cat-cow to release. Walk the hands forward. Same pose as before. So we walk the hands forward. The knees are down. The hips are above the knees. Hands are planted down. Forearms lifted. Maybe the forehead rests onto the ground, but I really want you to keep the forearms and the upper arms lifting to stretch across the chest. In through the nose here, out through the mouth. One more time. Walk the hands back so that they're underneath the shoulders. Press up into that firm tabletop. And then Sit back onto your heels. This is a good moment to look around and grab something. It could be a long sleeved t-shirt, a pashmina, an actual yoga strap, of course, is an option. Take the hands, stretch them out wide across that strap, up and over behind you. If it's not comfortable to sit on your knees, you could also sit on a couple of blocks. Or you could simply sit cross-legged. Anywhere that you feel stable is just right. Good, beautiful, reaching back and over. 2 more. If on this last one, there's a spot that feels really good to you, feel free to stay. Pause there. Maybe you feel a little extra stretch across the chest. And then take it side to side. Stretch up with the left hand and then up with the right. All of this is so great. There's been so many things going around recently. And this is a way to move our bodies that gets our lymph moving. And moving our lymph is always good for our immune system, just clearing out any of the normal toxins that we produce in our bodies, right? Anytime our cells are functioning, they're taking in nutrients, they're producing toxins. So we're not talking about some crazy detox, just a gentle, normal movement detox. Exhale one last time. Feel that stretch across the chest and release the strap down. Shake the arms out, especially if that made hands a little tingly. Shift your hips over so that you can get the legs out from underneath you. Take the legs and stretch them straight out in front of you. Apologies for my dark blue pants on this black bottom yoga mat, so it's hard to see my legs. My legs are stretching straight out in front of me. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, reach forward. Again, pregnancy, or if it's just more comfortable for your belly, step your feet wider apart as you reach forward. We're going really slow here in the reach. Let the hands fall down. This could be another place where you take the strap over the feet or just let them rest next to your legs. Round as much as feels good in your body in this pose. Pause for a breath. Active through the feet. Root and roll all the way back up. Take the hands slightly behind the hips. Fingertips are pointing forward. Push through the legs up towards the sky. Set the soles of the feet onto the ground and lift the hips up to the sky. Head can come back as far as feels good to you. It could be gazing straight at the sky. You could let the head drop back down behind you. That doesn't feel good to me, so you won't see me doing it. Get the hips up, up, up as much as you can. And then exhale and release back down. Take the right leg, cross it over your left leg, wrap your left arm around it, and sit up tall. Pregnancy and early postpartum, this is as far as I want you to go. Pregnancy, you can actually twist away from the leg. So in this case, it's the right leg, so you twist to the left. Early postpartum, I want you just to stay at center. If you are neither of those things and it would feel good to you, you can twist the belly towards the right leg, take the hand behind you to anchor, and lengthen through the spine, gaze over your right shoulder. Okay, so 3 modifications there. My pregnant folks are gonna twist open to the left and gaze over your left shoulder. My early postpartum, you're just working on getting upright, center. And if neither of those 2 modifications apply to you, left arm comes across the right leg and you twist and gaze over to the right. You're getting a lot of support from my cat Ollie today. Thanks, Ells. Release the leg, come back to center, shake the legs out. You won't be able to see this because the kitty cat's in the way. Pick the left leg up, cross it over, and remember our 3 modifications. Pregnant, you're gonna be twisting towards the right, open. Early postpartum, you're coming to center. And anybody else, wrap the right arm around the left leg and turn to your left, gazing as far as you can to your left. Left hand behind you, supporting the upright posture of your spine. Let's stay for a few breaths here. Inhale from wherever you've been, back to center. Extend through the legs, shake them out. Stretch one more time. If you want to, you can get the fleshy part of the bum out of the way, help you feel really grounded into the earth. Arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale up. I'm going to ask you all to find your own favorite way down onto your back. It might be that you like to just roll right down. I think it's a little more comfortable to come onto the side. Come all the way down and then turn over from there. That's a great way as well to protect the core. We're going to be here very briefly, so there'll be a few of you who are pregnant who don't feel good on your back, but as long as you do feel good, you can be here for a moment. Everybody who is on their back right now, and if you're not doing this on your back, you can do some of it essentially as cat-cows from seated. But if you are on your back right now, I want you to tilt the low back to the ground, pull the pubic bone towards the navel, root through the feet, and start to lift up through the hips. Exhale, the hips drop down, a little bit of a massage for the upper back. Root through the feet, knees are no wider than a block apart. You can use a block or a pillow if you have it to squeeze between the knees. Lift through the hips. Exhale, release down. One more time, reach up into the bridge pose. If it would feel good to you, you can take the hands that are currently pressing onto the floor, roll the shoulder blades underneath the back, clasp the hands behind you, root the hands into the ground, hips press up. Gaze is continuing to be up. That's a non-negotiable. Gaze needs to be straight up towards the ceiling for this pose. Exhale as you're ready. Unclasp the hands, roll back down. Squeeze the knees into the chest. Keep the right knee in. Gently twist over to the left. My pregnant mamas, you're going to want something underneath the knee so that twist doesn't go too deep. Take a breath here. Come back to center. Extend through the right leg, squeeze the left knee in. Bring the left leg over to your right side. The arm can either be overhead, out to the side. Just see what feels good in your body. Again, if you're pregnant, not too deep of a twist. That could mean putting a blocker or pillow underneath the thigh. Come back to center. Bend both knees, draw them into the chest as wide as you need. See if you can get them out by the armpit. Grab a hold of the feet, happy baby pose. Rock side to side if that feels good to your low back. Stay here for another breath or two, and then slowly extend through the legs. If it feels better to you to Shavasana on your side, maybe you're pregnant or you have a little baby next to you, you can roll onto your side, or if it just feels better to your low back after all of those flexions and extensions. Otherwise, flat on the ground, eyes closed. You could stay in the Shavasana as long as you want, but we'll stay here together for 5 breaths. At the end of the 5th breath, reach through the toes. Reach the arms overhead and stretch through the fingers. Roll to one side if you aren't already on your side. Use the hands to press the body back up to seated. And in seated, we take a moment to ground and thank ourselves for taking a moment for this practice. Hands can be at the heart or on the thighs. Take a deep breath of gratitude to yourself for showing up, for moving your body in a way that feels good. One final big breath together, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Thank you all so much for taking a moment to practice, to nourish your body, and to care for yourself. Namaste. I'm Faith. This is Mountain Mama Massage, and I'm so grateful to have done this yoga with you today. Have a good day.